Boom! And we're live. We're up. We're at it. I got my boy Mike over here. Got myself. Got some beer. Got some shit to talk about like we usually do.
Ice cream in our bellies.
We do.
Yeah.
We do. Tons of stuff to talk about this weekend. We've got fight night in Gdansk. There's a G in there, but it's Gdansk.
I'm guessing it's silent somehow.
Gdansk. We've got that. We've got Bellator 189 that's happening tomorrow. We've got a couple of topics that we're gonna hit real quick as far as like McGregor and Ferguson and all kinds of other shit.
Tough
Conspiracy theories. Tons of stuff, right?
Yeah. Continuing the conspiracy theories from last week.
Yes.
This one.
I mean, I feel like that's a consistent thing with you. It's like nothing but conspiracy theories. But yes, we're gonna touch on the conspiracy theories. But first, can we talk about this sweater we got going on right now? This is prime. I'm talking about like prime MMA fucking sweaters right here. Now, some of you might know what I'm talking about. Some of you don't. But Warrior Wear came out with an identical fucking print. Did you know this?
I did not.
I'm talking about.
We didn't bring this up before the show.
No, we did not.
I just dropped it.
I just wanted to fucking throw this at you. I'm talking about identical sweater. Like, this is ridiculous. This is like prime 2007.
I got it from like a Chinese knockoff site.
Which is probably why they got the print, or where they got the print from. They're like, oh, Warrior Wear, defunct. Let me go ahead and steal that print.
Yeah. Or you have to get like XXXXL because it's all in Asian sizes, you know, that kind of deal.
Everyone's just fucking way smaller, right? That's a super racist comment.
Well, no, it's true. Like, I might wear like a medium or large in like US. It's like European shoe sizes.
No, this
different.
Is 1,000% true. I've ordered off of those websites, and I'm typically a large because I have such broad shoulders and it just barely fit inside my own shirts. But when you do buy knockoff stuff, definitely looking at like a size up or two. But anyways, they totally ripped it off Warrior Wear, and I fucking love it. It brings back memories of when MMA was like at its prime. Anywho, yeah, man. So we talked about this a little bit earlier, but my neighborhood full of swingers, fucking crazy, right? And this is like a completely true story. So the other day, my wife, or not even my wife, one of my colleagues at work was mentioning to me, hey, have you ever seen this show called Neighbors with Benefits? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? So they're like continuing this conversation and saying, yeah, you should look it up. It's about the neighborhood you live in Maineville, Ohio, and this and that. So I fucking Googled the shit out of this thing. Neighbors with Benefits. It's a canceled show on Bravo about swingers. And that's like in my neighborhood, like right, like you could throw a rock at it. It's ridiculous. And here's the thing. You can go to the grocery store. So like you have your local grocery store. And the secret or the code to let people know that you're a swinger is to have a pineapple in your cart. And in like the baby section.
You were talking about pineapples earlier. I didn't know we were getting to.
Yes. So the plan is, not that I'm a swinger or anything, but I'm going to take my wife one day and I'm going to just fucking load up the cart with a shit ton of fucking pineapples in the front, the back, the side, and underneath, and just have her walk through. And just, I want to see how people react. I just want to see it. I want to see it. I've never really felt it or seen anything like that.
Don't you think you'll catch a couple glimpses from having like 20 pineapples in your
I don't know. I mean, maybe 10. Is that better? Is that a better number? I don't know. I just want to see what they're going to... I want to see what these swingers look like. But yeah, I live in the swingers community. Unintentional. Completely unintentional. Anyway. Yeah. But anyway, let's get to MMA. So Mike over here was saying that Rachel... so Tough 25, what is it, 25 or 24? Tough 24. 25. The championship edition of Tough, where they have the flyweights fighting for a belt, happened yesterday. One of the episodes happened yesterday. And my favorite fighter of all fucking time, hands down, the best fighter of all time, Rachel Ostovich. That's not Rachel Ostovich. That is not Rachel Ostovich. Rachel Ostovich right here, the greatest fighter in the history of fucking women's MMA, fought. And Mike put on his tinfoil hat, and he's saying...
I didn't have to have a tinfoil hat for this one.
He says that the UFC rigged the tournament to have her win in the first round, which makes No sense.
You make it sound like she had cement in her gloves, or like.
Well, I mean, you're basically saying what?
Well, I'm just saying, if you go by the rankings,
right?
The girl that she fought, was not number 7.
The girl that she fought had a winning record. Number 1, Rachel Ostovich. She's a 500 fighter. She's 2-2, and 3-3 in MMA. And the other girl was like 4-2 and 1 draw. So by going off of that, you would automatically rank the other girl higher.
Well, if these people that do the rankings are that dumb and don't realize the organizations that this other chick, the Hungarian chick, fights for.
Listen, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm not sexist, but MMA for women in the regional scene and even outside of the UFC and even at the bottom level of the UFC, not the best. Not the best fighters.
That makes my point. Where Rachel is fighting at Invicta, one of the highest. Not even in the UFC though. That's what I'm saying. Like women's MMA is not. In Invicta, you'd say that it's on par with most other organizations.
Sometimes. I mean, I can see where you're coming from, but it's just. I think the rankings for them they matched up perfectly. And hey, listen, if they did throw her out there and they give her like a bye, are you really mad that we're going to be able to see Rachel Ostovich fight again and again and again?
No, I'm not disappointed, but it was blatantly obvious that the girl that she fought should have been probably ranked least or the 16th.
The best episode of Tough I've ever seen in my entire life. The best.
Now, what proves my point wrong is who's the chick that Professor knows?
Who?
From Maryland.
Toka. So yeah.
I mean, she was ranked like 12th, and she looked like the best chick in the house.
But that's the thing. Like, they were going off of records.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, I can't remember her full name. It's a very unique name, but she came from Lloyd Irvin School. And she has a really high jiu-jitsu pedigree, like as far as like world championships and whatnot. But she got ranked low because she had a 1-3 record or a 1-2 record. She was like the last ranked girl, I think.
So that definitely kills my conspiracy, but at the same time,
yeah, man, yeah.
I think it's kind of odd that girl was 7th. I don't.
Records. It's just so hard with women's MMA. It's so hard because again, it's such a new sport. You literally have to go off of wins. You can't go off of strength of opponents because the sport's too new. It's just too new. All the fighters out there that are not in the UFC maybe have 10 fights if you're lucky total. Like you can't really judge it. Like I'm talking that's like the tip top. For the most part, you're gonna have people that have 5 fights and then they make it to the UFC. It's just the division's too young. Women's MMA is too young to really have any kind of record build, be able to say, well, this fighter's good because they beat that guy or that girl. I don't know. I mean, regardless, Rachel Ostovich, man.
No, I'm not hating on it. I'm not hating on it at all.
No, you can't. Impossible. She's just too high quality of a fighter. She's just too technical.
Yeah.
Her judo is amazing. Her wrestling is second to none. Her striking, immaculate. Also really incredibly good looking. But hey, that's beside the point, right? That's beside the point. But yeah, I don't think there's any kind of conspiracy. But I will say this. She did win that fight. She won by submission in the first round. Her second round, actually. Her next fight, she got Barb Honchak. She gonna get fucked up. Like, straight up. Like, I do not see Rachel winning in any way, shape, or form. Like, did you see Barb Honchak's fight?
Yeah, I did see it. She was impressive. At the same time, she took a couple shots. And she almost got armbarred. So.
She looked like a seasoned fighter. Like she knew, she looked like she knew what she was doing.
But she also fought like the greenest fighter in the house.
Well, technically second greenest because she fought, what was it, number 15?
Well, I mean, like the girl she fought was 21 and she just became a pro.
Wow. Well, Barb Honchak's a badass.
What, like it was the red hair chick, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. All I know is that Rachel Ostovich fought yesterday. She looked amazing. Great fight.
In a lot of aspects.
Great fight. Nothing but good things to say about that. But we'll, that aside, pretty decent so far season. Looking forward to the next couple episodes. I want to get to the next round already. I want to get past this first round. I want to see who makes it out. I want to see the legit matchups, if you will, Because once we get towards this next round, the round after that, we're gonna get some good fucking scraps. Because
I thought the fights have been good, and there hasn't been any like corny
and blocks.
Corny like coach.
No, not at all.
Fights like fake fights, or
You got Justin Gaethje and Eddie Alvarez. They're both, I think, pretty professional.
Yeah.
They're gonna go in there, try to just get the shit done, do what they can for the fighters, get in, get the fuck out, and then beat the shit out of each other in the finale. That's gonna be a fucking great fight, by the way.
Well, if they actually fight.
If they actually fight, it's going to be an amazing fight.
The best Ultimate Fighter coach fight.
If they fight,
I can't think of one coach fight which actually happened and actually was good.
Well, we're still going to get, although it didn't happen right away. T.J. Dillashaw and Cody Garbrandt. We're going to get it late, but we're going to get it.
Okay, yeah.
So that's going to be pretty good. Anywho, another event or topic that came up these past couple weeks has been weight cutting, and weight cutting is it's like an interesting subject because people are saying, well, we need to add more weight classes. We don't need to add more weight classes. People are killing themselves to make weight, and in my personal opinion, I think it's one of those situations to where it's 1,000% on the fighter. You add more weight classes, you're still going to have the exact same problem. I don't think there's going to be any difference whatsoever if we do add the weight classes. A lot of people are up in arms. And they're saying, well, if you had a 155, 165, 175, and then jump to 185, you're going to solve a lot of problems. I don't see that happening. Because people that are going to want to cut weight or want to have an advantage are going to do it regardless. It doesn't matter if there's like 5 extra weight classes.
No, I totally agree with you. I don't think that adding more weight classes would prevent people from cutting weight. But at the same time, I was showing you that article which shows that 50% of the people that did not make weight were in that huge gap of 155.
What were the numbers? What were the numbers we were looking at?
55 people didn't make weight since 2015.
And
half of them were in the lightweight or the welterweight class, which has that
big gap.
That 15. Now that doesn't mean anything really because, like you said, I still think people are going to push the boundaries.
Yeah. I mean,
so it's kind of hard to put your finger on what's going to work.
Yeah, I mean, I just because the way I see it, I mean, I've competed in jiu-jitsu and I wrestled in high school and junior college and fought MMA a couple of times and man, like just people are gonna cut. And this is the way it is. I think the only way that you could possibly regulate it a little bit better or maybe cut down on the issues is have like year-long weigh-ins, which would be fucking miserable for everyone. And I don't think anyone would actually want to jump into that.
Well, they can do what they're doing with Drew Dauber, checking the body mass index and the rehydration and dehydration levels.
I feel like we should just take an oath, or not an oath, but like a gentleman's agreement, and just everyone just I challenge you to a fight. I challenge you. Let's just go and just fucking weigh in at whatever weight. Fuck it. I mean, like, why not?
That might be the only,
And you know what's crazy is, like, it's back in Pride. Like, I feel like nobody missed weight. Weight classes didn't matter all that much. And we had fucking a great time watching all of the Pride events. Like, Sakurab, one of the fucking best fighters, in my personal opinion, of all time, going up and fighting at 205 his entire career when he's a 185er.
Well, it's easy to go up in a way when you can eat steroids the whole time.
Well, Sakuraba was definitely not on steroids. Take that back, sir. Highly inappropriate comment there. I don't know. I just feel like regardless of having 20 weight classes or 10 weight classes, it makes no difference. You're still going to have the same exact problems. The guys that are cutting down, instead of going down to one, let's say you got an 85er, right? And they thought about one time to cut it down to 70 or 155. Ended up cutting down to 70, did okay, but now that there's 165 and they don't have to cut all the way down to 155, they'll choose 165 next. You know what I'm saying? So it's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse.
But at the same time, you could also, that study showed that out of the 55 fighters, 4 of them were above the 185 division. And if you look at some of the guys like Rockhold, John Jones probably cuts a lot of weight. Like, there's a lot of guys in the 185 to 205 class that cut a lot of weight. And only 4 guys since 2015 above 185 have not made weight. And even there's a huge gap, 185 to 205.
Yeah.
So like you can't really put your finger on what is working, what's not.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean
because I mean, you look at Luke Rockhold, like
he's enormous.
Yeah, and he cuts all that, and
I don't understand how he makes it down to 185. Like I legitimately don't.
Tommy Weidman, Jock, all those guys are big for their class, but they still don't not make weight. So
yeah. I don't know, man. Maybe 55ers are just dumb.
Could be.
I don't know. Maybe the IQ drops when you get down to a certain level. But wait.
Hey, we weigh that much.
This is true. This is true. I take that back. I
I'm over.
I don't know. Wait, how much you weigh?
Like 170. Like after this ice cream, like 178.
How are you like 7'2" and only 178? That makes no sense.
Yeah. How much you weigh?
I don't know. 65 probably. I haven't weighed myself in a while, but I've been eating like shit.
Okay.
Probably 160, 165. 5'9". Kind of tall for the weight class, but still. Yeah. I think it's okay.
I'm the albino gazelle, so.
Huh?
I am the albino.
You are the albino gazelle. Yeah. How tall is New Magny?
He's pretty much the same as me, like 6'2" and like a same reach. Like I have like a 79-inch reach.
Crazy. Yeah. Makes no sense. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't really see a solution. I think everyone should just move up. Shut up. Deal with it. I mean, I get it. Guys are thick or bigger up there, but it is what it is. Don't kill yourself. It just makes no sense, especially with no IVs now. I mean, it's just too crazy. And the morning weigh-ins, man, it's impossible. It's going to be nearly impossible for a lot of those guys to cut 20, 25 pounds a day of or a day before. It's just nuts, man.
What also brought up this conversation was I was showing you the athletic commission had some kind of paper written out with Kevin Lee's heart rate, Kevin Ferguson's heart rate.
Nuts.
I guess they write all this stuff down, but
Kevin Lee's heart rate at 150 or 40 beats per second or something like that, just from going from a seated position to a standing position. What the fuck? That has to be an error. Because, like, I'm pretty sure
you can bring in the whole staff argument. It's like,
pretty sure.
So even if we had these rules, and even if they were regulated,
I think if Kevin Lee didn't have staff, he would have looked a lot better out there. Number one. Number two, he wouldn't have had an issue with weight cutting. And number three, he would be world champion right now.
Such disrespect for Uncle Dewey.
Tony Ferguson. Man, what an interesting guy. All right, guys. Anyway, let's move on from there. So, yes, we got the weight cutting. We talked about Rachel Ostovich. Something else that happened earlier this week. Tony Ferguson going back and forth with Conor McGregor on Twitter, and then just kind of throwing jabs at each other. Originally, Conor McGregor came out with like an image of himself. Photo imposed on a GTA 5
and then
graphic.
Tony Ferguson came back with that 10-7 round on his ass.
Oh my god!
Hit him with a 10-7. No. Hit him with a 10-7. That tweet was like, yeah.
So let's talk about it. So Conor comes out with an original idea, right? An original idea. Comes out with the GTA theme and just puts in that's it. Tony. That's it. Image. Tony. That's all he put out there. Causes up this rising storm of like controversy and just people talking about it. And then out of nowhere, Tony Ferguson fucking hires his fucking high school AV club to edit a video of him in 15 different.
That was all fan fan-made stuff.
It was terrible. It was like 15 different images or 20 different images of him in GTA style photos.
Running with the wolf.
Running with wolves with.
See, this is our big divergence right here. My love for Tony and your hate for him.
It's not even that I just. No, I went to his Twitter.
You hate.
I went to his Twitter. I've never been on his Twitter. I went to his Twitter today when I was with you, actually, and his fucking background is just his sunglasses. Stop it! Like, what the fuck, man? Like, it's just get a publicist or something. Like, everything that comes out of his mouth is just. It just irks me, man. Like, from a pro wrestling perspective, right?
So when your boy Verdum standing over top of him, yelling, those slurs at him, and he comes back with "I'll ankle pick you." That's not funny.
I'll ankle. No, and he said that like as a like that's his threat. I'll ankle. Like, he said it's serious. He's not joking.
That's what's funny about Tony. Like
but that's the thing. Like that's what bothers me so much. Like if he was like intentionally doing this to troll us.
You're like the guy who like saw Napoleon Dynamite and was like, "This movie's so stupid. I hate it." Like you just don't understand it. Like this is like totally Napoleon Dynamite right here.
No, here's the thing. Tony doesn't understand it. That's the problem. He's doing this.
No, he does. He does.
Seriously, like everything he says and does from day one is serious because he has not changed one bit. This is all serious. So he does not. He doesn't get that it's just terrible. If you understood that it was terrible, God. This is you think he knows? You think he knows?
When people on the UFC broadcast, DC, are calling him a weirdo. They said that on pay-per-view national TV, he's a weird. Everybody says that about him. He's a weirdo.
He's not even a weirdo, he's a dork.
No, but people say that about him. Do you think he doesn't hear that? And he if he really
what I think happens whenever he hears something like that? Mm-hmm. Man, they don't fucking know me. I'm so fucking cool. Let me go ahead and put on my fucking Oakley Flack 2.0s. And he gets like legitimately bothered and upset, and that's why he has that like weird attitude about everything. Like he legitimately thinks he's a fucking really cool guy and doesn't understand why people think he's a fucking weirdo. Like I don't think he has any clue that what he's doing is fucking strange.
Okay.
Everything. Like it just irks me. All of it.
I know it does.
His Twitter background is it's just his sunglasses. Stop it. Just stop. Like if fighting style is amazing, but oh man, it's just I don't know. I get antsy. Like I feel like I'm gonna have a seizure, dude. I get a fucking upset stomach. Like someone give me some Tums when we talk about Tony Ferguson. Jesus Christ, an incredible fighter, but Jesus. And then fucking. Okay, I'm done.
Let it go.
Well, I was just gonna say like then to make this thing about him getting his black belt like.
What's
No, I shouldn't.
Wait, I want to hear this argument you just found out about. I want to hear this fully formed argument.
I have no fully formed argument. He is a legitimate black belt level grappler. It's just they're like, I don't know. I think right now I just realized that I'm a hater. I fucking Tony. Like I just right now at this very moment because like when I said that the words came out of my mouth, I realized. I am a Tony hater. Like for
you are.
I feel like I have reasons, but like I'm a Tony Ferguson hater. Like there's just no way of putting it. Like that guy's just.
So I don't disagree with the points you make. It's just that, like I said, it's like the Napoleon Dynamite. Like I look at it different than you. Whereas like you look at it way too seriously.
I feel like if he didn't take himself seriously, I would look at this picture. Oh my God! I have a picture up right now for those of you that are just listening only. I put a picture, a screen cap of Tony pointing directly at the camera, breaking the third wall, and just talking to the audience. Like, come on! With the sunglasses just pulled down just enough down to the bridge of his nose so you can see directly.
So you can see through his eyes and know that
oh man,
he's keeping it real.
It's rough. It makes me hurt. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as far as the shit talking goes back and forth, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like I want to see them interact in person so I can get a real feel for the shit talking.
McGregor's got to come back after that 10-7 round when Tony laid onto him.
I feel like if they were face to face with each other, Conor would make him look like such a fool.
Yeah.
As it verbally, oh my God, it would be a murder, like just a straight up verbal murder. Now the question is, will the fight happen? I think there's interest that's being. Like, people are getting interest now, like, the back and forth, and Connor's showing a little bit of interest. UFC put together a couple of highlight reels of Tony Ferguson. That fight will probably sell. And Khabib saying that he wants to fight, he wants Nate Diaz versus McGregor, and he wants to fight Tony. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think he needs to get in the ring and fight somebody. I don't care who it is, but...
I want to say Bill. I think Khabib needs to take another fight. To be honest, there's just been too many injuries.
Well, I heard Edson Barboza.
Yeah, they offered him the fight. Yeah. Khabib just needs to sign, which I think is a very winnable fight for Khabib if he signs.
I think that's exactly the kind of style that he needs.
Absolutely. Oh man, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how things generate or develop with Tony McGregor. Tony Ferguson and Conor McNuggets. Oh my! Like who comes up with that fucking insult? Well, your mom smells. Oh, God damn it!
It's right when you heard him say McNuggets, it wasn't like, man, he's a genius. No, you didn't think that.
I wanted to flip
But after a couple days, like other people are saying it, you're saying it. It kind of just like Tony, like it kind of just rubs on you after a while.
Bellator 182. Bellator 182 coming at you this Friday. Originally, it was going to be a pretty fucking solid card, right? So on the main card in the first couple fights, you had Dave Rickles versus Brandon Ward, which is going to be a fucking slobber knocker, right? Two strikers that like to brawl. Up above that, you had the co-main event with King Mo and Liam Aguirre, which would have been another really good fight. Two of their better fighters in the 205 division. And then the main event, you had Shlemenko versus the debut, or Gegard Mousasi having his debut. Now, a couple weeks after everything got announced and everything got booked, we've got Gegard Mousasi versus Shlemenko. There's literally nothing else on the card that you could really...
Heather Hardy.
This is true. Heather Hardy against two.
Exactly.
Right. So there are a couple other names, one or two names in there you can keep your eye out for. But man, that card's looking pretty thin. But with that being said, let's dive into the main event. That's the fight that really has a lot as far as like stakes going on. Like Mousasi coming in from the UFC, and he opted out of re-signing with the UFC to sign with Strikeforce. So he chose to test the waters, got offers from both, got a very similar offer from the UFC, and went to Bellator because of the opportunities he had there. Now, Bellator probably threw a pretty good amount of money at him. I mean, the UFC guy's up and down. It's been pretty rough. And I feel like this is like not necessarily a must-win for Mousasi for the UFC or anything like that, but man, like...
But he, out of all the guys that left...
He left on top.
Well,
I think he left...
Lawrence Larkin was looking good before he left.
But he wasn't top 5, top 3.
Yeah, but Mousasi waxed Weidman, and then he came over. So.
I think Mousasi left the UFC as a top 3 fighter in the UFC.
Yeah, after he beat Weidman, I'm pretty sure that's the last fight he had was Weidman.
Yeah, it was Weidman. And hands down, that's the best way of putting it. Like, Mousasi left on top. Like, you could have made an argument that his next fight could have been for a title.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if this whole GSP and Bisping thing didn't happen. But you can make an argument that Mousasi could have been up for a title next. And now he's fighting at Bellator against Shlemenko. Now, it's not a bad fight. Because Shlemenko could fucking scrap. Okay. Motherfucker is a human tornado throwing spinning shit non-fucking stop. Both of these guys, we were talking about this a little bit earlier.
Combined 100 wins?
Yeah, combined, not 100 fights. 100 wins.
I think it was like 98.
Fucking absurd. That doesn't even make sense. I mean... I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of mileage in both of these guys. Both of them are great fighters. I'm pretty excited. How do you see the fight itself playing out?
I like Mousasi in this fight.
You think Mousasi's going to take it?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think he's going to have an issue with any of the striking or anything sort? I mean, Mousasi has gotten knocked out before against Uriah Hall. And I mean, Shlemenko's no joke, and he does have legit power.
I think that Mousasi's well-rounded enough that he can, you know, kind of take any kind of fighter on. And I'd like to see him eventually fight Rory. Which I've heard we talked about this. Do you think that he would take out Rory?
I think he would. I don't know. I mean, that's just 185 is big and Mousasi's big. He's like a thick dude. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not a small middleweight by any means. And Rory's not small at 170, but I feel like he would be average or below average size at 185. Now, he's a good striker and a good wrestler and all that stuff, but so is Mousasi. I mean, with this fight, Mousasi and Shlemenko, I think it's going to be fun, but in the end, I think what's going to end up happening is Mousasi's going to end up taking down Shlemenko and just grinding him out like he did Uriah Hall. I don't see it going any other way. I don't think he's going to run the risk of staying on the feet.
Like he did?
What?
Like the first round of the Uriah Hall fight?
Like the second fight.
Okay.
Where he just held him down and just beat the living shit out of him. And Shlemenko's not known for his ground game. Like, another thing, too, like, I've had Shlemenko at my gym and I've seen him train. He does okay on the ground, but I think Mousasi is just going to be just way another level on the ground as far as that goes. It's just they're on different playing fields. Again, nothing against Shlemenko. He's a great dude. I've met him personally. He's trained at my gym back home plenty of times, and his whole crew, and I love those guys. But I just don't think this is a good matchup for him. Nah, I think he gets waxed. 2 rounds. 2 rounds submission. What do you got?
They do 5-round main events
I don't know.
Title.
I don't know.
I think because Henderson just fought recently. He fought a 3-rounder.
Yeah, so I think I'm pretty sure it's 3
rounds. Was that the main
fight?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's 3 rounds. Second round, I'm calling submission. Maybe rear naked choke. Takes him down, ground and pound, takes the back, chokes him out. Now, Heather Hardy's on the card. Not much to say about her or the fight, really, per se. She's 1-0, but
looking good at the weigh-ins.
Looking real good at the weigh-ins. Yeah. But she did get called out by like some old boxing rival that she had, which is kind of cool. It was like pro wrestling. So I was like, oh no, you don't know, like Rocky 3, Mr. T coming out. You don't know what's going on. You don't know real pain. You don't want to fight no real fighter. Like that was pretty impressive. I was actually kind of impressed by that. And then so hopefully maybe down the line we can have them relive the rivalry in the ring in the Bellator cage. I feel like that would be pretty cool. But Heather Hardy is making her much anticipated return to the Bellator cage tomorrow. So we should definitely keep an eye out on those 2 fights. Now, the UFC originally I thought was going to have a weaker card between the 2, but now with everything falling off with Bellator, UFC is going to come pretty strong this weekend with UFC Fight Night 118. 118? Mm-hmm. 118. Cerrone versus Till. Pretty good fight. The fight card in general, not too bad.
Well, like we were talking about earlier, there's a lot of names that I like on the card.
Yeah.
But they aren't matched up with anybody.
Yeah.
They're good.
Yeah, I mean...
Carolina Kovacic, I like her.
Kovacic's got Jody Esquivel, Keith Jardine's girlfriend.
Okay.
Super weird. Okay, so...
if she fought like Jardine, would that not be the weirdest thing ever? Like the hunch and the...
Dude, so... Keith Jardine would train at Jackson's. Jody Esquivel trained at Jackson's. Jody Esquivel trained at Jackson's as a teenager. Keith Jardine was friends with her as a teenager. Became 18, a couple instantly.
I never heard this rumor.
Dude, not a rumor. 1,000% true. Okay. 1,000% true. Hey man, whatever. I guess it ended up working out. But Jardine's like fucking 50, and Jody Esquivel is not like fucking 50. She's like 20 something.
Dude, have you ever like watched a movie and like some like beef, like it's not nothing special, and then like, whoa, there's Keith Jardine on the.
Yeah, he's in a lot of movies. Yeah. Him and Krzysztof Szczecinski.
Yeah. Yes.
Szczecinski's in a lot of fucking movies.
He's got a very memorable face, and he's
like a bad guy.
He's a good henchman. He's a perfect henchman.
Both of those guys are legitimately the perfect henchmen.
Yeah.
Like, not the main boss, not the secondary boss, but like...
That's the guy you choke out to get to the boss with like a piano wire.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of a tougher fight if you're fighting a martial arts movie, like you gotta take a couple punches, but end up finding that he's like not very fast, and then you use speed to beat him, or like fucking Jackie Chan will wrap a fucking bar of soap in a towel and beat the shit out of him and then use it. Something like that. He's like a mid-level boss, then he can go in and fight on. But both Keith Jardine and Krzysztof Szczecinski, both excellent henchmen. Yeah. How did we get to that? Like that. But yeah, Jody Esquivel versus Carolina Kovacic. I think it'll be a fun fight. Jody Esquivel, I've seen a lot of her Invicta fights actually, specifically because she was Keith Jardine's girlfriend, so I got invested that way. But she's gonna lose, I think, but it won't be a complete blowout. I think she'll lose a decision, 30-27, all rounds going to Carolina. But it won't be like terrible. I don't think she's gonna get completely smashed. I think that's where your concern was, where you thought she was absolutely nobody. She's got a little bit of a name.
Yeah.
Fought in Invicta a lot.
But I don't see like there's only 2 matchups that really excite me: the Till and the
Darren Till and Cerrone main event.
Yeah, and then obviously Autumn, T-Rex Arms Artem.
Artem Lobov.
Just because those 2 fights, I think. I mean, even the betting odds show that they're
was that like
close.
An English accent? I don't know how to do an Irish accent. or an Irish Russian accent.
Irish. That's a strange.
That's an RM Lobov.
I can do the Connor flow with your hands off him.
I feel like that's very English.
That's how he says it. Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I'm no linguistics expert.
You do a decent GSP though.
Yes, I do. I'm not gonna lie. I probably stared in a mirror a couple of times while I said that in preparation. But yeah, that's actually gonna be a pretty good fight. I don't think it's gonna be the most technical fight, but Feely, he's like a better fighter. I think like an actual technique wise, better movement. Artem is just tough as shit, and he just throws like the smallest, most adorable haymakers ever. You know, like it's just,
there's a 1 inch height difference. There's a 1 inch height difference. How much difference in the reach do you think there is? I know.
Gotta be 4 inches, 6 inches. 9 inches.
9 inches.
No, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
He's 1 inch taller.
And he's got a 9 inch reach advantage? Fuck, man.
He's got little arms.
That's crazy. Artem Lobov is literally all torso.
He is the torso.
It does not make sense. He is shaped like one of these fucking round 5 action figures, but like with not these arms. Like even shorter arms. Like this is ridiculous. I don't understand. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't fucking. How's that even possible? Does he wipe his own ass? Does he have someone now that he's fucking making Conor McGregor lackey money? Does he have someone wipe his ass for him? Like, how do you do that? His arm, he can't even fucking reach into his pocket.
Yeah,
it's crazy. I don't understand it. But yeah, I mean that fight's
pretty good. I enjoy watching him fight though.
I do, and the crazy part is like he's got like a 12-12 record or a 13-13 record. Doesn't even make sense. Like he's on the brink of having like a losing record and probably be one of the only fighters in the UFC that has that.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But he's one of the only fighters that trains and is buddies with Conor. So
yeah, true. Who do you think is gonna win that fight?
Feely.
Like just like that easy?
I think if I was gonna place money on any fight, I don't even think the odds are.
So let's take a look at the odds. So Andre Feely,
he's like a 180 maybe favorite.
Feely, kind of close. Minus 161.
I'd take that all
plus
day.
158. Really?
All day. And then also we haven't got to this fight.
I probably wouldn't even put any money down on that fight. That fight is like too close. Like I feel like Artem, although he has the shortest arms on the planet, if he touches you, he'll put you down. In the first round is dangerous for anyone with Andre.
Dangerous for anybody that's on the Ultimate Fighter, but he hasn't knocked anybody out in a UFC event that did not show on Fox Sports 1.
He dropped my boy, Teruto Ishihara.
And he got back up.
But he dropped him. And Teruto's got a chin. So I'm saying, and Feely's got knocked out more than once.
Okay.
Just saying. I mean, listen. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I think you might be right. But anyone that fights Artem, I feel like a little sketchy. Anywho, the next fight that you said you were excited about was which one?
Cerrone and Till. I was about to get on the odds for that one.
Cerrone versus Till.
Super surprised at the odds for that one.
Cerrone versus Till. So we've got Cerrone at minus 150 on BetDSI. That's the best odds you can get on him.
Now, I've heard a lot of people say that Cerrone loses to southpaws, the Diaz's, the Dos Anjos. I forget what was the third southpaw he lost to. But supposedly he's got problems with the tall lefties. But at the same time, like, you're giving a negative 150 to a guy like Cerrone who has the most, or if he wins this fight, he's going to have the most wins in the UFC history. He's been ranked in 2 divisions, and Darren Till isn't ranked. I know he fought 12 times in Brazil in 1 year.
32 wins in MMA and 28 wins in kickboxing. I'm talking about Cerrone here.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous.
So I'm saying if you took anybody at the rank of Cerrone and you put him against any unranked fighter, I don't care how good a prospect, 150 is way too low.
Yeah,
I like Till, but man, that's not good odds for what you're getting, really. That's not good odds.
I think. Well, I mean, if you're a gambler, put some fucking money down Cerrone.
Yeah, that's what
for sure, 100%. Because that's a steal. I think he should have been probably at minus 250.
I feel
like that would have been fair. 200, 250, around that range. Till coming out plus 155-ish, around there, 160. I mean, I don't know. Till's. I remember watching Till fight, I think in a fight in Brazil, and I remember identifying this fucking strange tattoo of a lady that he had in his arm. That's his ex-wife, by the way. He has a fucking full half sleeve of his ex-wife on his left arm. Fucking crazy. Anyway, he's a pretty good fighter. He's entertaining to watch. I think he's got like 3 decisions and 1 knockout in the UFC, something like that. I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like the people that he's fought, they're not terrible by any means, but it's such a huge jump in competition, and to be like given those odds. I mean, I don't know how people come up with those odds, but man, that's just gotta show Cerrone some respect. Give him some respect.
And normally Cerrone, wins 2.
Wins like 7 and then loses 2.
Wins 2 and then kind of has that fallback fight, like the Nate Diaz fight. But he's lost 2 in a row, so he's coming into camp.
Dude,
probably not drinking much.
Yeah, I mean,
probably got his head straight.
If you look at Cerrone's record, he's got starting from the WEC, right? He loses to Benson. He goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, wins 6 straight going into the UFC, right? Loses Nate Diaz, wins 2. Loses to Anthony Pettis, beats KJ Noons, loses to RDA, and then goes on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 fight win streak before losing to RDA again. Goes on a 4 fight win streak at 170, and then loses to George Masvidal, who is a fucking killer, gets knocked out, and then loses a very close decision to Robbie Lawler. I think Robbie Lawler won. Hands down, but still a close decision that some people say Cerrone could have won.
I gave it to Robbie too.
Yeah, I mean that's not a bad fucking record at all, man. I don't know. I think Darren Till is gonna he's gonna
have his time, but I don't think it's gonna be this weekend.
I think he's gonna get his eyes opened up pretty abruptly. I guess that'd be the way to say it.
No,
an eye opener. It'd be an eye opener. Mm-hmm. This fight would be an eye opener. Sorry, guys. Not that eloquent with my words. Apologize. Probably, I should actually be a lot better with my words, considering that I have like a podcast. No? I don't know. Maybe I should do some reading. Anyway.
Well, it depends on how eloquent the people that are listening want it to be.
Oh, fuck. But yeah, I mean, the rest of the card, a couple names here and there. You got Sam Alvey fighting. You've got Jan Blachowicz. A couple other guys.
I like Warlley
Alves. But, I mean, the matchups, like Mike over here was saying, okay. Not too much to fucking write home to mom about. But I'm going to be watching regardless. It's going to be on Fox. No, on Fight Pass, right?
All Fight Pass.
Is it like it's a during the day card?
It's my favorite type of cards, man. Like
really?
11 o'clock. You get up, you work out, you have some coffee, and then like right when you're about to eat, settle down, boom, 11 o'clock.
Got some fights. Yeah, you're right,
fights,
man. Midday fights are pretty fucking nice. Not gonna lie. No. Main card starts around 3 o'clock. Get done by like 5. Then you have the evening to do whatever the fuck you want. You can take your wife out so you don't get yelled at and shit. I'm talking about myself right here. You're right. Saturday morning cards aren't bad. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for us this week. Mike, anything else that we need to talk about or touch on before we skedaddle? Skadoosh?
No, I mean
Skaboom?
I'm waiting for this big 217 card.
Man.
I'm pumped for that.
217.
I'm done with I'm sick of seeing all the GSP Bisping bullshit.
Aren't you ready to cement Michael Bisping as the greatest of all time? Like it's gonna happen. Michael Bisping. We'll talk about this next week. But Michael Bisping.
Well, it's in 2 weeks. There's a card in Brunson Machida. Come on now.
We'll talk about this in 2 weeks. But Michael Bisping is going to be considered the greatest of all time after he beats GSP. There's no way of going around it. It's just going to happen. Anyway. for the albino gazelle, this is Ruben Vera. We're finished up with Street Grappler 2. See you guys later. Peace out.